Hi Sagittarius, this is your forecast for the month of June 2017. This is a general reading for Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Rising, or Sagittarius Moon. If you have a different rising or moon sign, you might find watching those videos helpful or more informative for you. You can watch your reading in 3 different ways: the full extended monthly, or for just the energy influence, watch the brief. Or if you prefer, watch the weekly for the upcoming week. Weeklies also make it easy for you to review information you may have forgotten in the full reading. Please remember that these are general readings, and so they may not apply to everyone. If you would like a reading that is specific to you, please visit my website at thealchemistastrologer.com, and I invite you to follow me on Facebook, Google+, and Instagram. Please also check out my pay-per-view channel, vimeo.com/on-demand/finding-love for monthly love readings. So Sagittarius, the week starts off for you with some type of wish fulfillment. This is a week about getting what you want, whatever that is: material happiness, emotional contentment, physical pleasure. The focus is on your well-being, your contentment, your sense of fulfillment. For some of you, maybe you are thinking about marriage. There's a desired marriage. So this is a week about, playing your hand in order to get what it is that you want. And you could very well come out on top this week. It's going to be very easy for you to get into something. If you'd like, the doorway will open. Or if you want to get out of something, you can remove yourself with no strings. So if you really want something this week, think carefully, because you very well may get it. Whatever you desire, whether it's a person or a situation, there may be some truths attached to getting that, and some consequences that come along with it that you may not have anticipated and may not be quite prepared to deal with. But if you know exactly what you want, then this is a week where you're going to meet less resistance, less pushback, and you're not going to have to try very hard to get what you want. So you could negotiate a better job, a better deal, a bigger this, a bigger that, a better whatever, if you want to. So this could be a week of good fortune, manifesting your dreams, your thoughts. There are possibilities awaiting for you. But for others of you, something you want comes with a high price tag, and it may not be worth what you're willing to put out to get it. And in fact, you may be prone to being tempted this week, and because of your desire to acquire something, you may bend the rules or look past your own ethics in order to get that. And ultimately, again, it may be a great deal less than what you had hoped for. Maybe you're overestimating a person, a situation, or even yourself. You could be over-idealizing something, glamorizing it. So this is also a card about being smug and arrogant and thinking perhaps, you've got it all, and you may not be willing to share it. So this is a week to be careful of letting your ego overwhelm your common sense and get in the way. It's possible that something that you want is either going to be delayed or it may not be what you expect. But in the positive, this is you getting your wish, getting your dream. Now, one of the issues this card holds is excess. And so you may be going too far in something. There could be, maybe you're eating too much, drinking too much, or going too far with a situation. This can be about, it's the card of the hedonist. So somebody could be, you know, playboy, playgirl, whatever, and feel this sense of entitlement in doing so. So again, whatever you want this week comes with a price tag. Be clear about what you want and be clear about the price that you're willing to pay for it. Now, the second week, you feel some kind of anxiety. Now, maybe this is anxiety because you gave in to that temptation, or whatever the temptation was, another person, another partner, too much food, too much drink. Maybe this is the week where the rubber meets the road and you're facing the truth about last week. Whatever it is, there's some worry, perhaps some guilt, maybe some depression, maybe some self-loathing. Maybe you don't like yourself because of what happened last week. For others of you, there's some stress, some depression, some worries, but they could largely be unfounded. Some of you are dealing with an illness related to perhaps some type of excess, or maybe, you know, last week there were issues where somebody was closed off emotionally, and that caused a feeling of depression or hopelessness. You may even have some crying spells this week. Maybe you have trouble sleeping because you're filled with a lot of doubt. Some of you, you know, maybe there are issues of celibacy or having to live this very ascetic lifestyle that's creating some anxiety. Maybe maybe you're anxious to be satisfied or get your wish fulfilled. Some of you may be dealing with some health issues, some female problems. Now, this may center around your desires, love, lust, whatever it is, or simply following your passion, following your bliss, finding what it is that you want. You may be worried about exactly what your wishes and desires are. The positive is maybe you're coming out of this depression. Maybe you're at the end of your suffering. There's a new dawn. This is a 9, so you're completing some type of cycle where this will soon be over. In fact, there may not even be anything to worry about. Maybe, you know, you're just exhausted mentally. And maybe, you know, you're realizing that you have been in a depression. Now, the third week, you have this feeling of more regret. So maybe something has happened previously. You gave in to temptation and now you're worried about it. It's keeping you up at night and you feel a sense of regret. Or you're anxious about something that you desire and you're trying to salvage something. Whatever it is, it could be that this is a week where you're brooding over something. Maybe you feel a sense of loss or mourning or an emotional letdown. But again, this could be some exaggerated pessimism on your part. Some of you're dealing with some family problems. Maybe there's a crisis in your love life. Maybe you feel you're not getting what you deserve, the attention you deserve. Maybe somebody's emotionally closed off. Maybe you're in a partnership where that's lacking love. Some of you, maybe you're dealing with issues that connect to a loss, like inheritance, a legacy, a will, and you're having to deal with grief because of it. Maybe something is, you know, taken away from you, and that's causing you some type of sadness. This could be a week, though, where you're trying to get some clarity about your situation, and maybe somebody's putting on a game face. Maybe that's you or the other person. Maybe they're hiding their true self, or this could be a week where you just need to get to the truth of something. You need to look beyond the surface. in the positive, if these are unfounded fears, maybe the pain is ending. There can be some, maybe you feel down, but you're not out. This card has a bridge over those troubled waters. Now, some of you, you're anxious to rekindle something, maybe an old love, or you want to renew some old ties, or you're working to recover from some past disappointments and hurts, or maybe you're secretly sad. Maybe, maybe when you're going about your day, you seem happy and fulfilled, and yet at night when you're alone, you're crying, or you feel lonely, or you feel sad. Some of you are dealing with health issues where, that maybe there's been an accident or an illness, and some of you are mourning because there's some type of ending that has taken place to a relationship that you value deeply. But whatever has happened, this is all in the past. You need not stay stuck where you've been. You may be questioning things, yourself, what your work is, your goals, and even the people that you're connected to, whether there's really love there, whether those connections are really valid. And you may be conflicted within yourself, your heart or your head, which way to go. It's important this week for you to look after yourself. Do something. Put something in front of you that's positive, something that you're moving toward, so that you can regain your sense of happiness. This is especially important if you're dealing with a loss, a setback, or a disappointment. And you will find that simply by making that shift, no matter how small it is, it's going to allow a situation to flow more smoothly. If you are stuck in pessimism or cynicism or worry, you're just going to manifest a situation for yourself. Part of your concern or worry may be directed at somebody that you care about. You want to step in and save somebody or fight a battle for them. And ultimately, that person is going to have to do for themselves. So part of the situation could be that you're expecting a whole lot from someone. Maybe you're expecting to do something for someone and that's just not possible. Or you're expecting somebody to do something for you and you feel disappointment because you realize you're going to have to rely on yourself. So this is a card that has to do with your frame of mind. If you're expecting the worst, if you're expecting to be disappointed, then you're likely going to be that, and your mood of depression is going to continue on. This is simply saying, consider your choices, consider your wishes, what you desire. You need to, think about who you're getting involved with or re-involved with, what kind of situations you're participating in, what kind of habits you're involved in, and are you doing things that lead to disappointment for yourself. Now, the last card is a major card. So the last week of June is an important week for you. This is a card that, it seems to have brightened things for you. If you were suffering or disappointed, or maybe you didn't have faith and something has come through, the light has turned on. And you had turned your back on your faith, and now there's a focus on it. This is a week where, for some of you, maybe you're dealing with young women, maybe people who offer assistance, maybe you're offering your assistance. Some of you may be dealing with people like astrologers or people that solve mysteries. If there was an illness you were grappling with, this could be a week where you're dealing with healing agencies. Now, this is about getting help from various sources, maybe that you didn't expect. Now, some of you, you have to be careful. Maybe you're turning your back on assistance that's being offered, or someone is doing that to you. But this is a week where It can be full of inspiration, some luck, some optimism, especially if you have trust and confidence and faith in the future. Some of you will be getting relief this week. You'll feel a sense of renewal, a sense of comfort and protection. And so your faith will be restored. For others of you, you're going to discover some secrets. You're going to work towards solving some mystery, something that's been puzzling you for a while. So you'll be gaining some knowledge and expanding yourself in some way. Now, you may be doing that through the occult or astrology or, something along those lines. Something illuminating could take place for you this week. Now, some of you, maybe you're trying to develop some type of special talent or some type of creativity that you're involved in. But generally, this is about peace and feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. And that may center around your freedom. You may need to get back in touch with the possibility that you can do anything. You need to feel exhilarated again. And if you rekindle that connection, maybe that's happening. Maybe you're breaking out of your rut, breaking out of your routine. But for others of you, you are realizing that you need to let go of something and move on. Now, this is a week about faith. Faith in yourself, faith in other people, faith in a higher power. And if you are relying on faith, you may find that there are some situations that come about this week that give you that sense of renewal. You may feel very vulnerable or open, or maybe you're dealing with someone who's vulnerable. On the other hand, you may be in a situation where you feel your most authentic self, as if you can bear everything, in a situation or to another person. So you know that there's some transition taking place. You feel that, although you don't, it's inexplicable. It's nothing maybe that can even be verbalized. But there's a personal transformation taking place, and you feel very connected to others, intuitively so. So this is a week that allows you to go inward, to get in touch with your authentic self and allow your intuition to guide you, because this is a week of protection for you, where you are divinely guided. Even if you're dealing with some difficult or unsettling circumstances that have caused you to face a harsh truth or reality, as the universe so very often does, this is an opportunity. This challenge is a doorway for you to discover you, and not just you in the past, your best you. So this could be an opportunity for personal achievement or working with others to create some type of achievement. But it won't come without challenge. This is, and you can see that by the Nine of Swords and the Five of Cups. You are being tested. You're tested on your faith, and whatever you're dealing with, you're going to have to try to find that silver lining. This is also about hopefully gaining some clarity and understanding what is to be taken on, what is worthy of your time and your energy and your resources. If you go over a situation and at the end of it you determine that it's something you should invest in, then your faith is rewarded. But if this is just something you're pouring your energy into because you're not seeing things clearly and you're wearing rose-colored glasses, then you need to recognize what this no-win situation is. And the sooner that you can determine between those two, the smoother your situation is going to unfold. This is also a week where, your emotion can get the best of you, and you may think that your intuition is guiding you when in fact your emotions are dominating you. So this is about, again, getting in touch with that inner self, listening to your intuition, and letting your faith be a motivator. You're going to be looking at your faith in yourself, other people, a situation, your beliefs, and that is definitely going to be challenged. The more flexible you are, the more open, the more vulnerable possibly. The more you open yourself up to new possibilities, that faith is going to be rewarded. Although, again, this is about gaining a new perspective. So the way you picture something, it may unfold in a different manner and in a different time frame. Now, the underlying energy is this Four of Swords. So during this month, you'll be doing a lot of thinking. You may be spending some time alone. Some of you may be recovering from an illness. Now, we have issues connected to excess. Now, some of you may be dealing with something to do with alcoholism or some kind of an abuse of something. And so there could be issues of trying to recuperate from that. Some of you, maybe you're visiting a hospital, maybe you're the patient, maybe you're visiting the doctor. For some of you, you may be dealing with an unwelcome guest, and you may feel exiled, or maybe you feel like an outcast in some way. Whatever it is, you're having to rethink some things. You may be reconsidering your position and regrouping. This can be a month where you rely on your faith. Maybe you're doing a lot of prayer or meditation or introspection. For some of you, you've decided, you want to take a vacation. You want to take a break. You want to get away from it all. You're in retreat mode. Whatever it is, there's not a lot going on, not a lot of communication, not a lot of activity, and that may be welcome or not. Either you want that, you need that in order to recharge and regain your peace of mind, or you're feeling some sense of isolation and loneliness. You may not be even in the most pleasant surroundings. You may feel confined, or maybe you feel you have trouble making decisions. You don't know what your next move should be. This is likely to focus around healing of some sort, whatever that healing is, emotionally, spiritually. You're trying to regain balance between the inner world and the external world. And maybe that calls for taking a time out. Maybe it calls for nourishing yourself, loving yourself. But you are definitely at the end of some type of cycle where it's necessary for you to take a time out and regroup. Now, this month, you need to be aware of temptation, going to extremes. And the Nine of Cups says that that's a possibility. You're either swinging from one end of the pendulum to the other. Either you're, taking something to the extreme by trying to do too much, or you're simply not doing enough. So again, you need to strike that balance. If you feel comfortable with where you are right now, then this break, again, is welcome, and your mind is not running away with you. You're not jumping to conclusions. But since you have that Nine of Swords, it's likely that you are worried, because there are a lot of loose threads, and you may be avoiding something or hiding away from something, or trying to wish something away, or still thinking you can save something or revive something, and not facing the truth to a situation. And remember, the star said, make sure you know what you want, and make sure you're involved in something that actually has a chance rather than something that's a dead end. Your options could be rather limited right now. So the idea of going over your position and reconsidering things is important. This not wanting to look at alternatives because of, letting other things get in the way. Something that might actually improve a situation for you. As long as you remain in denial about issues, not dealing with things in a timely manner, it's going to complicate your life and your situation. This is likely to do with something that impacts your destiny in some way, your long-range future and your goals. It could be intense situations that have to do with again, your future and the things that you value, the people that you value that are connected to your future. And it also ties into your sense of security, your sense of belonging, your sense of well-being and stability. And there are going to be some challenging developments for you that center around partnerships, exchanges, and whether you are receiving satisfaction in those. There's some type of a dilemma that you're facing, some uncertainty and inability to move forward. And it has to do with some questions from the past that are still influencing you presently. There is a lack of stability in your situation. And, either it's just unstable or it's simply unstable because everything hasn't been quite worked out yet. You're working on it. But what is important for you this month is the ability to cut through something that is cloudy or emotional for you. You're trying to make sense of how you feel, and you're trying to be okay with how you feel. Now, this may involve therapy, it could involve counseling, or simply just talking through, connecting with someone and clearing that fog. You are trying to make sense of the past. And in that process, some situations, there's probably some unconscious projection going on. You or someone else, though, will have the ability to think more clearly and perhaps somewhat coldly, more detached, more objective when others are being overpowered by their grief or their emotion. There could be situations where somebody's getting in the way between two lovers and keeping them apart. Some of you may be in situations where you or someone else is overcome with emotion and you're losing clarity or you're confused because someone doesn't want to face the harshness of reality. And some of you will be getting, again, some guidance from the stars. You'll be getting some psychic messages that will aid you in your quest to gain some clarity. All right, Sagittarius, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Let me know with your comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great month, and I look forward to speaking with you next month.